Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a story that is just absolutely wild. We're bridging the gap between a biological marvel and a modern engineering miracle. We're talking about a journey that starts with a tiny, brightly colored bird and ends at the absolute bleeding edge of high-speed mass transit. So buckle up, because what we're going to explore today proves that sometimes the most advanced technological blueprints, well, they're already flying around right outside our windows.
So let's start with the big question. How in the world does a bird diving from the sky never miss its underwater target? Seriously, think about it for a second. Trying to see clearly underwater from way up above is practically impossible, right? The surface of the water acts like a barrier. It literally distorts reality. And yet the kingfisher just plunges from the air, pierces the surface, and snatches its prey with a success rate that honestly just defies logic. How is it bypassing the fundamental rules of optics that trip up the rest of us? And get this, it doesn't just do it accurately, it does it insanely fast. Look at this number, 0.03 seconds. That is all it takes. Literally in a fraction of the time it takes you to blink, this bird has plunged underwater and grabbed its meal. 0.03 seconds for a flawlessly targeted strike. It's mind-blowing. But, speed alone doesn't really explain the accuracy. To understand how it actually hits the target in that tiny window of time, we've got to look at the invisible enemy the bird is fighting. Section 1. Beating the water illusion, the physics of the hunt.
So before the bird even touches the water, right? Before it even thinks about folding its wings to dive, the environment is actively trying to trick its eyes. The culprit here is refraction. Basically, when light travels from air into water, it slows down and changes direction. It bends. And what this means for a kingfisher is that the fish it sees from up in the air isn't actually where it appears to be. The fish is a visual illusion. If the bird just aimed for where its eye said the fish was, it would hit empty water every single time. It's effectively hunting a ghost.
To put that into perspective, it's just like that classic trick we've all seen. If you take a perfectly straight stick and dip it into a pond, the exact moment it breaches the water's surface, it suddenly looks bent or even broken. Your brain absolutely knows that stick is straight, but your eyes are being completely fooled by the water. Well, the kingfisher is dealing with this exact same visual trickery, but get this, it's doing it at high speeds, from high altitudes, all while hunting for its actual survival. Section 2. The biological supercomputer. Eyes built for math.
So, how does a little bird overcome a fundamental law of physics? Well, it all starts with some incredibly specialized anatomy that basically operates like high-end computer hardware. The kingfisher actually has two distinct foveae, and these are ultra-concentrated focus points right in its eyes. Check this out. It's got a forward fovea that's completely dedicated to looking dead ahead, and a sideways fovea to handle peripheral vision. It's kind of like having two different specialized camera lenses jammed into one eyeball. This gives the bird an absolutely unparalleled advantage to track movement and lock onto a target at the exact same time.
But as we all know, having great cameras doesn't mean much if you don't have a good processor. And the source material points out something truly awe-inspiring here. The kingfisher's brain acts as an automatic biological calculator. It takes that distorted, refracted image from those incredible eyes and instantly, automatically, calculates the exact angle of light refraction. It mathematically adjusts for the illusion. Without even thinking about it, the bird's brain runs the complex geometry needed to pinpoint the real physical location of the fish. It just totally bypasses the water's optical illusion. Amazing, right?
Moving on to Section 3. The perfect dive. Engineering the strike.
Now, knowing exactly where the fish is, that's really only half the battle. The physical execution has to be completely flawless, because any mistake in dense water is going to alert the prey. So step 1 is calculating that refraction. But look at step 2, locking the head perfectly straight. Just milliseconds before impact, the kingfisher makes its body completely rigid. And why do that? Well, that brings us to step 3, slicing the water without splashing. If the bird hits the water at any sort of awkward angle, it creates a pressure wave and a really loud splash. That sound and vibration would instantly send the fish darting away. So the whole dive relies on absolute silence and literally zero water displacement. And the secret weapon making this splashless entry even possible? It's a remarkably precise angle, exactly 3 degrees. Researchers actually found that the angle of the kingfisher's beak is as sharp and narrow as a sewing needle. When a wedge that incredibly precise hits the water, it doesn't push the water down. It cleanly parts it. It slices right through the surface tension, which allows the bird's whole body to follow without creating any disruptive waves. We're talking about aerodynamic and hydrodynamic perfection here.
Section 4.
Inspiring the bullet train, nature's blueprint.
Okay, so here's where it gets really wild. We can take everything we just learned about this tiny bird and apply it to a massive human engineering crisis. Here was the situation top Japanese engineers were facing back in the day. Their early bullet trains were incredibly fast, for sure, but whenever they entered a tunnel, they pushed this massive wave of compressed air right ahead of them. And when that compressed air popped out the other end of the tunnel, boom! It created a deafening sonic boom. We're talking shaking buildings, waking up entire neighborhoods, a massive problem. They needed a way for a huge metal object to enter a dense medium, the tunnel, without creating a pressure wave. Does that sound familiar? It is the exact same physics problem the Kingfisher faces when hitting the water.
And the solution to this huge sonic boom problem, it didn't come from some multi-million-dollar computer model. No, it came from an engineer who just happened to be a bird watcher. He realized the Kingfisher had already solved this exact physics problem millions of years ago. So his team literally copied the exact 3-degree needle-like shape of the Kingfisher's beak, and they slapped it right onto the nose of the bullet train. And the result? When this newly designed train hit the tunnel, it didn't push the air anymore. It cleanly sliced right through it. The sonic booms practically vanished like magic.
And hey, this isn't just some old piece of transit history. If you travel to Japan today and look at a modern high-speed bullet train, you're going to see it. The train is literally wearing the face of the Kingfisher. The front of those trains is a direct homage to that perfect 3-degree angle engineered by nature. It's this awesome, permanent reminder of how biological solutions can totally dictate the future of our everyday human technology.
So I want to leave you all with this final thought from our sources. Nature possessed this awe-inspiring technology millions of years before humans spent millions of dollars to engineer it. It really makes you stop and wonder, doesn't it? As we constantly struggle to build faster, quieter, and more efficient machines, the absolute best blueprints might already be out there in the wild, just waiting for us to pay attention. So what other million-dollar engineering secrets do you think are hiding right now in your own backyard? Keep your eyes open, folks. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the world around you.